visit somebody right on my call. This is the moment you're meant to know.
Well, hello there, sunflowers, and how are you guys today? Well, I'm here because I'm shocked. I can't believe it. There are some conspiracies, and I may have a conspiracy of my own, but Stefon Diggs has allegedly been released from the New England Patriots. Yes, indeed. Now, I did see this video circulating on TikTok, and this is how this information found me before I saw the news articles, and this was posted by ESPN. So if ESPN, the sports broadcasting website themselves, posted this, then I have to believe it. So this is what the video allegedly said. Scooted me out the video a bit. But as you see, it says Stefon Diggs in his last game as a Patriot. And I Googled it. When was the last time he was playing in a game as in the New England Patriots? And allegedly was the Super Bowl. Now, that's just my conspiracy, but I'm not about to break that down. But as you see, this was this video that they were showing, and this could be the Super Bowl. This could not be the Super Bowl. I'm not quite sure. I only watched the halftime. However, that video being said, that's what I saw on ESPN. And then I started seeing news articles circulating that Stefon Diggs has really been let go by New England Patriots. And there's so many rumors. Is Stefon Diggs let go because he was demanding too much? Was Stefon Diggs let go because he lost the Super Bowl, and because of that, the New England Patriots regret buying him, so they're tossing him back to the fish? That's the main rumors I'm hearing around on the internet, that after the Super Bowl, everyone was starting to speculate if the New England Patriots was going to let go of Stefon Diggs, because allegedly he signed a 3-year contract, but he only served 1 season. So that means he hasn't even done a year. Is a season a year? So has he done 1 year, like half a season, like half a year? Like, I'm not sure how sports work, but he hasn't done 3 years. And because of that, it's quite curious. Why did they decide to cut him short so soon? So I decided to do a little bit of research, and I'll pull some information to you guys. And then I'll break it all down to you what AI had told me when I asked for some just clarity about what's going on. So first off, well, I'm scrolling through my notes. My bad, guys. I always have so many notes on my phone, don't I? What? Oh my God, no, that's literally not it. Okay. So this is the first article that I had saw when I first looked it up. It says, why did the New England Patriots, release Stefon Diggs? And it says that their decision is purely financially motivated, and that Diggs had an additional $6 million set to become fully guaranteed after this year in 2026 at the end of the week. So just before he was supposed to be guaranteed that extra $6 million to his already $20 million contract. And I think the cap was at $26 million. So that meant just after 1 season, he would have had that major boost and increase, and he already would have been receiving top dollar of his contract before 3 years are even up. So because of that, New England Patriots was like, yeah, here are a few things that AI told me that I could see exactly why after the Super Bowl, it all seemed to go downhill for him, because it was a lot that was piling up. So if this is financially motivated, you got to think first and foremost, is $6 million increase worth it for Stefon Diggs? Did he win us the Super Bowl? No. Is he a good investment? Yes, indeed. We definitely do want to keep him. But hey, Stefon, you want to renegotiate your contract? And Stefon is like, no, pay me what you owe me. 6 million. You said it. I ain't renegotiating. So the Patriots said, okay, we not going to keep you then, because you don't want to renegotiate with us. We're willing to keep you, but we just don't want to pay you. So first, it's the fact that no, he's a good team. That's why they wanted to keep him, and that's why they waited up to almost the very last minute before letting him go, because they wanted to keep him on the team. But it was Stefon Diggs that wasn't really willing to take the offer that they were offering. So I'm not sure if he felt like he was being lowballed, because it's like, first you offer me 6 million and now you want to offer me less than that. But yeah, I've been doing nothing but greatness. I brought you guys to the Super Bowl, but yeah, we also lost the Super Bowl. So can we really blame Stefon Diggs for that one? I'm not quite sure. But just think about it, from Stefon Diggs, he's like, I got you guys here though, so I'm worth the 6 million. So you see where the dissonance between how Stefon sees it and how the New England Patriots see it. But guess what? That's not the only thing that racked up against him. Allegedly, just the fact that he has a lawsuit against him about those allegations of strangulation, apparently. I'm not sure how that court case is doing, but that was a stain on him already, and people were worried that he was going to, when that case first came out, people were concerned that he was going to be let go then or released, but they still kept him around. See, Stefon, they were really trying to work with you here, buddy. And he just decided to say, I get it though. If he was up, if they saw that he was worth 6 million, then you should still be worth 6 million. But then you also got to realize what you come with, because also within the year or the season that you were in, you allegedly had 3, 6, 9 baby mamas in a span of a year. And at first you went from 0 kids to 3 full kids. So because of that, that's another thing. It's just okay, your image is suddenly getting tarnished. Just Stefon, what are we doing? Well, you've gone off rails here. That's how the New England Patriots are seeing it. These are the things that they're looking at when they're just are you worth this extra $6 million when you still got possibly 2 more years to serve out in this contract? So because of that, they're thinking about that. And then I'm not sure how much age has to do with it, but allegedly AI says that the fact that he's going to be turning 33 during the year of his 2026. That's also another thing that's a sting against him, or a tag against him, because the age, I get it, body don't work like that, susceptible to more energy, susceptible to more injury, so therefore become more of a reliability. Totally get it. Is that 6 million worth it? Even though he bringing in the scores and he even was able to get us to the Super Bowl, is he worth it? Just as an individual, not what he brings to the table. Well, that's not what they're looking at here. It's just Stefon Diggs as an individual. Are you worth the 6 million? And he's looking at it I'm a player of the team, and whatever I bring to the team shows how my worth is. So if I'm bringing it to the team, then why am I not worth the 6 million? You see here, he's not looking at himself as an individual. He's looking at what he adds to the team, not what he could be taking away from the team because of his individual cases that come with him. So those were just the 3 things that was listed up against Stefon Diggs. So because of that, that totally makes sense, but it also really sucks. But hey, it's also partially on Stefon Diggs, because the New England Patriots were definitely willing to work with him, even though there was a short list, and probably more that's out there, but just a short list that I could find that could be the reasons that would be cons, but they still wanted to work. Like they say, the pros outweigh the cons in this situation. The New England Patriots was willing to keep him. And then, my little 2 cents, my dollar, I will my $10. Okay, I'm raising my value up here. I see how you feel, Stefon Diggs. But no, for real, the way I saw, I find it really suspicious that just recently, after he gets broken up with by Cardi B, And at her tour, I mean, you could say whatever you want to say, but I just find it a bit curious and suspicious. But this one will have to play in time. But I'm just wondering, did Cardi B do a little something, something to Stefon Diggs? Because why is it all of a sudden after he breaks up with her, or she breaks up with him? No, she breaks up with him. Allegedly, he was cheating. Who is Offset's mistress, who is also long-term best friends with Stefon Diggs anyway. She a whole mess. She is in a whole triangulation from the very beginning, but hey, whatever. So yeah, Pre was at the Super Bowl. Stefon Diggs was all cool, booed up with her. So then, that made Cardi B feel away. She break up with him. She go on tour, and then she says this really cryptic message, and everybody's like, oh my God, this is her message to Stefon Diggs. But she was just like, when I said be careful with me, I meant really be careful with me. And then suddenly he just loses his job afterwards. I'm just saying, that's a little bit curious if you're asking me. But I don't know. If Cardi B had that kind of power, she would have came for the government by now. So with that being said, I just want to pull some cards just to see how Stefon Diggs is taking this loss to the New England Patriots, because now he has to go find a new home. There are many people like hold up. Did I read that right? I thought I saw the Ravens. I don't know. There are a few people out there that are willing to take Stefon Diggs, though. So that's good in his benefits. Like the Ravens, the Steelers. Yeah, those are just a few that are willing to sign Stefon Diggs. Then apparently I just saw Tyreek Hill name just floating about. That name sounds familiar. But anyway, moving right on along. So because of that, there are profitable names, especially over here in Baltimore. The Ravens are thinking about picking up Stefon Diggs. I mean, the Ravens also went to the Super Bowl too, so you gotta think about it. Not went to the Super Bowl, but they were like competitors, like they were like contenders. So because of that, you got to think about it. Stefon Diggs is very valuable, and sometimes they say if a company doesn't know your worth and value, you just got to move on. So let's see how Stefon Diggs feels being released from the New England Patriots. How you feeling, Stefon? Going to pause right here. Okay, the Three of Pentacles. I really like that because that just already shows that he is looking for contracts and looking elsewhere and is ready to make deals. So how he feels about the Patriots. Hasta la vista, baby. It's time to go on forward and see what other future endeavors are waiting out there for me. So it's like, bye, 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 baby. That's no lie. So that's how he's feeling. So let's see what the foundation is. The Eight of Wands, moving on for sure. Stefon Diggs literally packed his bags and hit the road, Jack, and he not coming back no more. Okay, I got a whole lot of song references for Stefon Diggs. Okay, let's see what's going on in the past. But no, seriously, all seriousness. We do see here that in the past with the Two of Swords, there was a sort of contemplation energy with him. He could have been taking some time. He knew this date was coming up. But B, he could have been hearing rumors. He could have been not wanting to look at the writing on the wall. Maybe he's feeling a little bit blindsided, but it was all there if he would have just looked at it, but he just refused to look at what was in front of him. So that's why he's that's it. Maybe that could be a block or a problem for him, because when you don't look at your wrongdoings and you just move forward and you're just like keep on moving and you don't do any time to really reflect, you're going to continue to make the same old mistakes. So because of that, I don't want what the things that happened to him with the New England Patriots while he was working with them to be the same thing that follows him to other teams, and then suddenly he starts getting this bad name and bad reputation where no football team wants him, so then he prematurely ended his career because he has a bad reputation. But that's only going to happen if he continues to be closed off to hearing or open to what advice. He just wants to do his own thing, but you know what? That's cool. It happens. It's Stefon Diggs' career after all. So let's see what's above his head. The Five of Swords, which is all about friction. But what I see here, because I don't really see a sort of fighting, I do see a sort of coming together, but it's like coming together in a way that feels like a double-edged sword, because why would the butterfly want all the swords pointed at it? It's such a delicate thing. It's like bringing all this negative attention, and it's like it feels like the negative forces, like the fairies, or we could call them like the fae in this case. You know, the negative side of the fairies, where they're like the tricksters, the pranksters, or just trying to be misleading and misguiding just because they get a kick out of it, a bit selfish kind of fairy energy. But all that to be said, that's what I feel like is, I don't want to say there's like negative energy and forces coming up against Stefon Diggs that he's refusing to look at, but it's also negative forces and negative energy that he brings onto himself, because he puts himself in these situations because of the way he decides to maneuver, and the way he maneuvers is based off the way he thinks. And as if his thinking is thinking, then he's maneuvering in a funky way. So because of that, let's see what the future has to say for him in terms of how this New England being released and let off and currently have no home at this moment as a football player. How is he really feeling about that moving forward? The Five of Wands, more friction, go figure. First off, 2 swords, 2 wands. Definitely combative, definitely in his head, but also just doing anything, just trying to keep moving, to not think about it. And hey, that's a good thing. Like they say, when you work and keep yourself busy, you're not thinking about your problems. But also at the same time, if you use that as a way of a coping mechanism to not deal with your problems, then those problems are going to eventually accumulate, or maybe they're just going to bottle up inside. And maybe when the least time comes, when you expect it, it decides to burst and erupt. And hey, guess what? That's the cycle of Stefon Diggs, right? Because because it seems like his track record is starting to follow him. And if he doesn't try to do anything to get proactive about it and change his ways and change his mindset so that way he could change his behavior, well, then he's going to be kind of stuck in this perpetual loop. However, what I see here in the middle, outside of all the fire and the wands, the fire and the air, still same, we have the Earth card, which was the Three of Pentacles, was all about contracts. That's what he's keeping himself focused on, centered on, and grounded in this very moment. It's almost feeling very chaotic for him right now. And this chaos, he's just focusing on, where can I go so that way I know my future isn't at jeopardy, literally, with the Five of Wands. Because he has, I don't know when the next season is, but he's got to start training. And you got to remember, before he can even train, he's got to get into pre-game season before the game season happens. So he's got to do all that months in advance. So it's like, now that he's been released, thankfully a little bit earlier than he was expecting, now he can really get cracking at it and start picking up and looking for other opportunities, kind of, essentially. Look for work elsewhere, as they say. It almost felt like he maybe would have known, kind of had a feeling that there was like a 2 weeks resignation kind of energy before it happened, but because that's what I'm getting with this Two of Swords energy. But he was looking for them to turn a blind eye and see that he's really worth that 6 million because of the energy that he brings to the table. And they're just like, yeah, you bring the energy, but look what you come with, and how the media, the frequency, the airwaves are making you look. So because of that, you're not portraying yourself well in the media, even though you perform well on the team. So that kind of clash is going to continue following him if he doesn't get it straightened up. And also, you got to remember, he's starting getting all those baby mamas to fight back against certain allegations, which I heard, maybe not the NFL, but just people in sports general is a good way to mask themselves, because they can perform hyper masculinity. I'm not trying to psychoanalyze anybody here, but I'm just repeating what I heard. Leave comments down below if you have anything to say, but I don't have facts to back this up, but it just sounds logical. But when you think about it, it's like that hyper masculinity, so they get to perform being masculine when they're really not, and they're on the DL or the undercover, whichever one is the correct term in this sense. And because of that, they get to get away with being on the down low and playing for the other team, if you know what I mean, while still appearing to be masculine. So because of that, to go out there and get all those baby mamas to fight back certain allegations, that's just something within inside of himself that caused him to act a certain way. So like I said, he's got to change his mentality in order to change his actions. I'm just saying. So I just want to know, how is Stefon Diggs searching for a new team going to go? How is his search for a team? Okay. We'll put that there. And then these at the bottom. Sorry. The first card is a tree. Second card is birds. Please just let it be another nature card to humor myself. And hot, it is another nature card just to humor myself. Well, first off, actually, it's very perfect because it echoes the 3 elements that I just talked to you guys about. Tree, which happens to be earth. Birds, which fly in the air, so that just happens to be swords. And then hot, like wands and fire. The same stuff, the same sentiment that I was just talking about this entire video. The oracle cards are definitely echoing it in 3 cards. And like, you know, when they say less, the cards said less. So we see here with the tree is a healing kind of thing. So when it comes to Stefon Diggs on this journey of finding a new home, he is going to have to deal with some stuff within inside of himself. This could be like a healing process. This could be like him looking at himself, or during the process, some things are going to pop up that he's going to start realizing, oh, wait a minute. I could see why they wouldn't want me, because I wouldn't want me, because this is a hot mess that I'm in. But hey, whatever, moving forward, we see birds. And usually that's all the birds chirping, gossip. And you know, that's what's gotten him into this mess. So because of that, then maybe that could be what gets him more into the mess. I'm just saying. And we see hot, where the temperatures are rising, and maybe he could be even getting a little bit more desperate if things still start turning around in his favor, because he really wants, because, you know, if he doesn't get signed to another team, that means he probably have to sit out for a season. So therefore he's like on a hiatus. And then I don't know what that's going to do to his ego, if his ego already isn't bruised and fractured already at this point, since he seems to be working so hard to prove himself. But that's just me. And because of that, I just see that this journey is just going to frustrate him and add friction within his life. That's what I see fire. Because, you know, when you think of fire, you got to think of lighting and friction. And sometimes, you know, when you're out there in nature and you have the rocks and the stick, and you got to rub your hands to create that friction, and you feel warmth and you feel heat. That's exactly what I see here with this hot. Just the friction of the clashing the heads of the butting, different viewpoints, different view perspectives. So because of that, Stefon Diggs is maybe not able to see eye to everybody, or like maybe they'll like see him for who he is, or they like will want him, but they'll be like the New England Patriots, where it's kind of like I'm not really sure what you come with, if you're really worth that risk. And then he's going to be like a little bit irritated, like, why does nobody want me? Even though the clues are right there in his face, but he's just not really looking at it. Like I said, with the 2 of Swords, if he keeps his energy up. But I'm just saying, that's all I had to say for Stefon Diggs and how he's taking this leave. He's taking this leave like a champ. He's moving forward and saying, you know what, that's a loss, but there's many doors open moving forward for me, because he knows his worth and he knows his value, and he's going to fight and advocate for it until the very end. So can you really be mad at somebody for advocating what they value, think that they are valued and worth of? No. But, you know, when it doesn't work out for your favor for many times, and then you start questioning yourselves, which I'm not sure if Stefon Diggs will get to that, then he's going to have to start questioning what is it that he's overlooking, or what is it that is not making him the shit, you know? So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading on Stefon Diggs. I sure did. That being said, the card still said that it's all on him, and everything that is with him is with him. And it's not like, no, he just brings this on himself, pretty much. And he has the power to change it. Literally. So with that being said, I hope he does for the sake of his career. If that being said, I will see you sunflowers in the next one. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already and spread these beautiful sunflower seeds all over the earth because we need positivity, especially for Stefon Diggs. He needs that positive energy moving forward, or he might just flip lids and like flip a table. So with that being said, I will see you sunflowers in the next one. Please leave your comments down below. If you haven't left your comments already, how do you feel about Stefon Diggs? Were you shocked? Can you believe that is actually financially motivated, that they didn't want to pay Stefon Diggs what he was worth originally? Can you agree to that though? With that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. And before, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this content. Before I sign off, you know what I say. Hype, hype, hype us up. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe to us. Hey. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one. Sunflowers.